leaves, and it's sticky like. So if you walk through it, it might stick on your clothes. It might stick on your pets if they walk through it. It's very tough, all right? And it has a little bitty seeds, which you can dry and roast and make some sort of coffee-like beverage. I have not done that. I have done it with other things, but not that, not yet. Okay, the seeds you should collect anyway for another type of work. But goosegrass works in a similar fashion as kudzu does, all right? It helps to bind and keep. Bind and keep. So you got some money, all right? You got some extra cash. Take a few of them bills out, fold them towards you, all right? Take a length of this goosegrass and wrap it. And as you're wrapping it, wrap it towards you. Turn it one time toward the right and wrap it in the other direction. So what you're seeing in front of you looks like a cross formation with this here vine. And then when you get to the end, just tuck it up, tuck it underneath and secure it. Okay, and sit that on your ancestral shrine and let them know you did this, what they call a packet. All right, if you're Creole, you might say paquet, right? Je parle français. Anyway, set it up there and let them know your intention. Okay, this represents keeping my money and avoiding unforeseen circumstances that would cause my money to go away from me. Okay? And this is a great thing to do if you have savings goals. Now, savings goals. Absolutely share your savings goals with your ancestors. Let them bless your road to fruition of your goals, all right? Let them cover that with your blessings. Okay? But getting back to keeping money and keeping it from flowing away. If you have bills that seem to have gotten away from you, you can do similar things, with your ancestors. Show them debts, all right? Take the actual bill, all right, or a photocopy of the bill, and take a big old black Sharpie, okay? Put a circle around the total amount due, all right, and then write paid in full across the face of that bill. Every single one. Stack them all up together, all right? Stack them all up together. Stick them under a black glass encased candle, all right? Burn that candle. And as you're burning that candle, see those bills one by one, all that debt burning away with it. Okay? Invite your ancestors to put their energy and decreasing your debts. Now, I'm not talking about you just saying you're going to be financially irresponsible. That's not what we're talking about. Your ancestors are going to help you destroy your credit standing, or make it worse than it might already be. Now, we're not asking the ancestors to help us get liens put on our property and shit. Okay, I ain't talking about hustling backwards here. I'm just talking about help them bring blessings to them, because our blessings are theirs. And so if we minimize our debt by doing this, how does that work? Okay, we're not making the debt disappear. But like I said before, sometimes they might send you credits and refunds onto this account. Sometimes you might win a scratch off, okay? That as soon as you see that money, you'd be like, well, damn, this is the exact amount of such and such I owe on my cell phone bill, whatever. Okay? You might get a bonus at work. You might be asked to, work overtime, and the amount that you're going to get paid extra, it happens to be the exact dollar amount that you owe such and such. You see how this works? There's no coincidences here. All right? When things happen, you just kind of know how they fit as far as the work that you're doing. All right? So we're working to get rid or push down or minimize our outflow. The ancestors can absolutely help with that. Now, people, when we invoke our ancestors to help us Please don't skip their thank you, their offerings. Okay? Pour them libations, give them offerings. Do not be ungrateful. All right? Do not be spoiled. When your ancestors come through for you, give them thanks. Give them offerings. All right? Cook a meal on a Sunday, or go get a meal if you don't cook on a Sunday, and give them a small little plate of that. Don't put no salt on this now. Ancestors don't like salt like that. That's not saying everything has to be made without it, but you don't want to go sprinkling extra salt on their offerings. Just don't do that. Don't have salt anywhere near where you give your offerings to your ancestors. Okay, give them some refreshing, clean water. Give them some coffee. Give them a little bit of whiskey or rum. All right, give them some cigar smoke or pipe smoke or cigarette smoke or snuff. Make a special piece of cake, some pastry, some cookies. All right, if somebody like milk or buttermilk, put that out there too. Okay, show your gratitude for their assistance in your life. All right. Because they receive ashe from these things. This gives them the sustenance as well as us just giving them thanks and recognizing how they helped us by bringing blessings into our lives. Okay, let me see how I'm doing on time. I'm at 36 minutes. As you know, I usually keep my stuff under a half an hour, but this is a special episode because, we could all use a bit of financial help here or there in our lives. Okay, I just kind of go off the cuff with this. I don't have any outline prepared. I just knew the topic. So forgive me for jumping around from point to point. Can we backtrack a little bit when I talked about dressing the money, and I mentioned oil, and don't put oil on your paper money, but that was only if you are putting that money inside of a machine that has sensors. Okay? You can absolutely dress your paper money with oil if you're putting it back into circulation. You're using it to purchase goods and items and services. You're handing it to someone, or you're putting it out there, for someone who needs it to find, and you're basically, cycling the good ashe and the blessings amongst your own community. You can absolutely dress your paper money with oil in that regard. Okay. Now, I personally like to make the Dakanga or the Yawa Congo cosmogram on the paper money with my finger dipped in oil. Okay. Now, I use my own blessed oil. It's just olive oil. Sometimes I use red palm oil. All right. Sometimes I use coconut oil. All right. Those are my go-tos. All right. I don't do anything but pray over it, leave it on the ancestor shrine for a day. It's blessed in my book. Okay. Take my finger, draw that Congo cosmogram onto the paper money. All right. I do the same thing on the things that hold my money, my wallet. All right. Put the oil on there as well. If you have a cloth wallet, you might not want to do that with the oil, but if it's an animal skin, that's fine. All right. Sometimes I like to put a few drops of patchouli oil in my wallet. I'm a big fan of patchouli. Okay, and this might be because, I'm half South Asian and I grew up around a lot of patchouli in my youth. So the smell has a childhood association with it. It reminds me of my father and my older siblings who were practicing Hindus when I was a kid. So, I'm beholden to patchouli. Patchouli is one of my favorite spiritual oils as far as the botanicals are concerned to work with, because it's so... it's a multitasker, okay? It has so many uses, but it is great for attracting and keeping and protecting your money in this case, okay? It has other uses outside of money too, but I will go into those on another episode. But what I do is dress my wallet with patchouli oil. Sometimes I just take the bottle itself and take the top dropper part off, and I have other little droppers that I put in there, and I just put 3 drops inside my wallet. Sometimes I will take my finger and draw the Congo Cosmogram on this, have it wide open and draw that in the middle of the wallet if it's a fold over type. Just get the stuff in there like that. Okay. Get it on your money. Absolutely. Absolutely. So those are just a few of my tips and tricks that I like to do for attracting money. And sometimes these things come back to us in small bits, sometimes in, larger ways, and anything in between. Okay. So just keep that in mind, when you start this work. Don't dismiss putting on that jacket or that sweater or that, windbreaker, and you put your hands in there and you pull out some coins or some dollars, some paper money that you forgot. That's like one of the most common things that people report back to me when they do some type of money drawing work. They always seem to find forgotten money. Okay, just where they least expect it. They find money on the street. That's always one that I hear is people, they find like $1, $100 bill once. It just happens that way. It just seems to come. And sometimes, those little small things eventually add up over the course of a month. Okay. So it might not seem like a whole lot in a day. Oh, I found 75 cents, in them blue jeans or whatever the case, But if you keep track of all this extra money that you seem to be finding or seems to find its way to you, see what you got at the end of the month. And that's a blessing. Okay? Write that figure down on a small piece of paper. Take it to your ancestors and let them know. Okay? It's a blessing. Whether it can help you in your circumstances for a particular thing at that point in time or not. Never, ever, ever show, not being grateful with a blessing. There's no such thing as a blessing being too small. Okay? So I'm glad that we are on the same page with that. Now, let me just address something. A lot of folks say, well, if you're all this and that, how come you can't win the lottery? How come, you don't get them? Let me just say this. It's not always in everybody's lifeline path to become instant multimillionaires, because everybody has something that they need to do in life. And if your fate has already been predetermined, or if your gift has yet to be fully realized, let's say it like that, because I know a lot of people kind of cringe at predestining and predetermined fate. So let me just say this. You got a particular gift that has yet to be realized. Whereas if you hit the multi-mega millions, you would not realize that gift. Okay, your ambition toward it, your drive toward it, all those things that would allow that thing to be fully manifested at the benefit of not just you, but others. Okay, so many others stand to benefit from your gift. But if you become an instant millionaire, you're going to go on to live in your life. Okay, and do other things that, might still benefit people in some form or fashion. But that one thing that came from your spirit, that one thing that came from your soul, that one thing that you are either the only one that's good at, or you're the best at it amongst your peers and colleagues, or family members or friends, having a whole bunch of money instantly would probably more than likely take you off that path, and you will never fully realize that thing, because you got it all now. You got it all. So that motivation just won't be there. So a lot of times when circumstances tend to present that they might block a blessing whether it's a blessing to you or a blessing to someone else,